The key signature of a piece of music shows us which notes are generally used. In Western music, there are 12 different pitch classes available. Key signatures allow for 7 of those pitch classes to be used. For example, in the key signature of 1 sharp, I can use a G, an A, a B, a C, a D, an E, and an F sharp. Those are my 7 pitches available. If I add another G at the top, then I've just created a G major scale. It sounds like this. Okay, if I create a song that uses that G as the tonal center, then we're in the key of G major. The tonality of a piece is determined by which pitches are being used and which one of those pitches serves as the tonal center, or tonic. If I were to come over here in this key signature, I can use an A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Those are the 7 pitches. If I put my C as the tonal center, then I'm in the key of C major. But if I use a different note, I might be in a different key or mode. If I used the A as the tonal center, this would be A minor. But if I used the D as the tonal center, then I would be in what we call D Dorian mode. And that sounds like this. So what exactly is a mode? Well, the term mode can be used in 2 different ways. It can refer to tonality, like a key. So instead of being in the key of C major, I'm in D Dorian mode. Or it can refer to a series of notes, like a scale. Instead of a C major scale, I wrote a D Dorian mode. There are 7 different modes in music: Lydian, Ionian, Mixolydian, Dorian, Aeolian, Phrygian, and Locrian. And we could create any one of these 7 modes using the 7 notes allowed by any given key signature. Let's use a key signature of no sharps and no flats to demonstrate this. If I were to start on a C and end on a C, that creates this scale. And we know that as a C major scale. This is also called Ionian mode. If we wrote a melody using those notes with C as the tonal center, this would be a melody in the key of C major, or C Ionian mode. If I were to start on D, however, as we just discussed, we could create D Dorian mode. With D as the tonal center, I could write a melody in D Dorian mode. And there again is what it sounds like. So with no sharps or flats, starting on C, ending on C, I get Ionian. Starting on D, ending on D, or with D as the tonal center, I get Dorian. If I were to go to an E, create an E in this same key signature of no sharps and no flats, then I would create a Phrygian mode. And that would sound like this. E Phrygian. On F, I would get what we call Lydian mode. Here's F Lydian. You see we're filling in our chart here. Going up one more step, G creates what we call Mixolydian mode. G Mixolydian sounds like this. Just a little bit different than a major scale. And if I were to build one on A, most of us know that A with no sharps or flats is A minor. This looks like an A natural minor scale. And sounds like this. We also know that as Aeolian mode. Aeolian mode. And if I were to build a scale or center a key on B with no sharps and flats, I would come up with what we call a Locrian mode. So B Locrian mode sounds like this. And that fills out the rest of our chart. Now you might have noticed that the order I put these in follows the order of sharps, or the circle of fifths, with these notes in this order right here, F, C, G, D, A, E, B, and these modes in this order, Lydian, Ionian, Mixolydian, Dorian, Aeolian, Phrygian, Locrian, I've created what I call the line of modes. You would be able to then recreate this line of modes if you can just remember those orders. Then the order of sharps, F, C, G, D, A, E, B, and the order of the modes, L, I, M, D, A, P, L, or limbed apple. So you can just remember that by a limbed apple. That's a good arm there. Okay, an apple with some limbs was a limbed apple. Limbed apple, that's the order of the modes. And remember that this low one down here is the Locrian. Okay, low is Locrian, the higher one is Lydian. So why do you want to remember that, you ask? Well, if you can recreate this, then it's a good tool for showing you key signatures for not only modes, but also major and minor keys. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to demonstrate it using the G. So with no sharps or flats, G was Mixolydian. And we all know that G major, or G Ionian, has one sharp in the key signature. So if I will put one sharp in the key signature, then I can move my G up one spot from this Mixolydian to the Ionian. Okay, that one, adding one sharp, moved my G up one spot. So if I add another sharp to the key signature, then I can move it up another spot to Lydian. So G Lydian mode has two sharps in the key signature. Takes those sharps away. Take two sharps away, I move my G back down two spots to the Mixolydian mode. And then the opposite effect happens with flats. So if I put a flat in the key signature, it moves my G down one to Dorian. G Dorian has one flat. And if I move it down one more and add one more flat, then I have a B and an E flat in my key signature, I'm on G Aeolian mode or G minor. We all know that G minor has 2 flats. So now what if I want to know the key signature for a G sharp mode? Let me tell you about the magic portals. There are 2 magic portals with this line of modes. The sharp portal is at the top and the flat portal at the bottom. So when I had my G Lydian with 2 sharps, if I wanted to add one more sharp to this, I want to take my G up, there's nowhere else for it to go. So what happens with my G if I take it up with one more sharp, which is the G sharp? The G gets to go through the sharp portal. And when it goes through that sharp portal, it brings it into the bottom and it puts a sharp on the G. So G sharp Locrian has a key signature of 3 sharps. G sharp Phrygian then would have 4 sharps. G sharp Aeolian or G sharp minor has 5 sharps. And if I wanted to bring the G through the flat portal, coming from Mixolydian, I come down 1, 2, 3, 4 to Locrian, and one more brings me through the portal to G flat Lydian. G flat Lydian then would have 5 flats. And you'll notice that that 5th flat is the G flat, B, E, A, D, G. And if I wanted to take it one more step down and put the C flat in the key signature, then I found my G flat major key signature, or G flat Ionian, with 6 flats. So as long as I remember my order of sharps, F, C, G, D, A, E, B, and my limb dapple, then I can do this with any of the notes and figure out what key signatures any key or mode would have. For example, if someone asks you, well, what's the key signature for B flat Mixolydian mode? And you simply count how many steps you have to take down through the flat portal to get B to Mixolydian. So if I go down 1, I'm here, 2, 3. So 3 flats is B flat Mixolydian mode. If someone were to ask you the key signature for A sharp minor, then you can just count 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th one we go through the portal, 5, 6, 7, and you get back to Aeolian. So 7 sharps in A sharp minor. So you may have noticed that to go all the way around took 7 spots. So that's another shortcut you could make if you were really getting way out there on a limb and saying, well, what is the key signature for F flat Mixolydian? Then you know if you go 7, you've got 7 flats is F flat Lydian, and then 2 more takes you to F flat Mixolydian, so 9 flats. Okay, you're not going to write a song in 9 flats, or probably encounter very many, but now you know what the key signature would be for F flat Mixolydian. So have fun with this, and good luck.